Good afternoon and welcome everyone to Teams Tips this Friday. I hope you all enjoyed the welcome music. We are so excited to have you. I am with the Office of Information Technology, and these are our weekly Team Tips sessions. I know a lot of people are feeling alone right now, overwhelmed by the new technology and what's required to learn in order to accomplish what's normally done in person. So, if you feel like lately you've been running as fast as you can and you can't catch your breath, this is your time to take a moment and be reassured that we are here to help. I'm Amanda Pritchard, and I have the luxury of serving as the Events and Outreach Specialist in the Office of Information Technology. Like many of you, my job and my role has shifted drastically over the past few months and made me completely pivot from what I knew and was familiar with to uncharted territory, hosting events exclusively virtually. It's meant a lot of new research, training, and mistakes to get to the point where I feel comfortable with this new normal. So that's just to say I understand how you feel because I'm living it with you. Let me go ahead and pull up my slides here so that we can move along. So before we begin, I want to be sure that you're aware of the features in Teams so that we can interact. Because a large part of learning is not just listening, but also being heard. So I've posted an announcement in the live event Q&A. This slide has a screenshot to show you where that's located. If you look for the icon at the top right of your screen, there's a small box with a question mark in it. Once you open that, you're able to click on the announcement, and on the top right, you can click the thumbs up button. That will tell us that you've liked the post and that you're able to use this feature to submit a question, a comment, provide an answer, or just to say hi. Select the Ask a Question button and submit your inquiry. I recommend you keep that announcement panel open because we're going to be sharing links and resources with you, and I don't want you to miss any important content. So today's session is being recorded and it will be sent out after the event so you can review any of the materials discussed. Should you like to utilize closed captioning, you can activate it on the bottom right corner of your screen by clicking the CC option. If you have any questions or issues, don't hesitate to reach out to us using the chat feature. We welcome your interaction. We value your thoughts, your comments, and questions. And we just like to know that you're there and you understand us. So next, let's get an overview of today's discussion. At the help desk, we get a lot of questions. Imagine that, right? So we developed some of the most frequently asked questions related to Microsoft Stream. The primary question being, what is Microsoft Stream? So Microsoft Stream is a secure video service that you can manage who views your video content and determine how widely to share that content within UTD. Today, we're going to cover the top questions that we receive on Stream, including the what's and the how's behind the actual platform. Beyond just learning how to upload your content, we're going to dive into organizing your content through groups and recording original content in Stream. So Microsoft Stream helps you to organize content into channels and groups so it's easier to find. And today's demo is assuming that you already know how to record videos in Teams, or that you already have content recorded that you want to share. So don't leave the meeting if you don't know how to do recordings yet. We'll get you some resources on that, but just know that we're not going to show that portion of it. Today is going to be focused on Stream. So next, what is Stream? Microsoft Stream serves as Microsoft's solution to uploading and sharing video content. In simple terms, it's UTD's internal video hub. Think of it as UTD's own YouTube channel. It's a place to organize, store, and share videos. Unlike YouTube, Microsoft Stream is private to just UTD members, and it requires that the user log in and authenticate into the hub using the O365 credentials. So to watch, users have to have their net ID and to use their password to log in. Video files tend to be huge in size, and downloading them every single time over the network so a user can watch them is not very efficient. Stream simplifies this process and allows you to share the video quickly and easily. So, are you wondering how to get started or to access Stream? You can go to the Microsoft Stream website, which is listed on this slide, www.microsoftstream.com. And I'll post that site here in the comments real quick too. So we do want you to have that site available and accessible. Let me post it real quick. In case you want to follow along and to be able to see what we're showing you screen by screen. So you can go ahead and pull that site up now, and if you would like to, and bookmark it too so that you remember where it is later. So that brings me to my next point, to introduce the power team that is going to show you the behind the scenes of Stream. Both of these gentlemen are familiar faces if you've joined us in a previous Teams Tips. Nirali is the manager in client services and Brian's the assistant manager in client services. Both have been on our Teams Tip sessions previously. To be a good teacher, you must first be a good student. And I assure you that they both commit their time to researching, learning, and testing products so that they can offer the highest quality of service to campus. Their genuine caring and giving attitudes builds the trust needed to have the mindset that new skills can constantly be sought and applied without having to be intimidating or limiting. So Nirali, I know one of the big questions that's going to be shown on our next slide is, how does Stream relate to Teams?
All right, Amanda, thank you. This was a wonderful introduction. Thank you as always, you're amazing. And thank you to all of you for joining us today on a wonderful Friday for another Teams Tip on a wonderful hot day where it is nice to be indoor. So I'll get started here. We'll go over some few slides. That's just gonna go over the overview of Stream, and then we'll get to the good part, the demo. I'm sure that all of you are waiting for. So I'll get started here. So before I get started, there's a first statement there. It says currently the Stream, the recording, the Teams recording that we have is on a 720p resolution. Typically, Stream is, and our recordings are usually at 1080p, but because of COVID, Microsoft has downgraded us to about 720p resolution, just so they can process the videos quickly and efficiently. And eventually we'll go back to the 1080p. So that's just a little quick statement just for you guys. Now on the permission side for Teams recording, there's two types of ways you can record your meetings. One is channel or Teamspace, that you can just pick your teams and your channel and you can set an invite through there. And those meetings are available to your Teams members. And when I refer to that is, I know it's kind of confusing. So in our Teams, we have team, and you can have invitation based off that team for your meetings. The second type would be the one that most of us utilize, is that you go through Outlook and you set up a meeting through Outlook and invite whoever you need to invite for your project, or based on your needs, you create another meeting, and that is shared with all the participants. So a little bit difference there. And we'll go through some of that as we get to our demo, and that will, sorry, we'll explain a little bit better on that. Next slide, please. All right, so other features. Most of you probably already know this, but just so everybody knows that both your recordings, your meeting recordings, and any videos that you upload auto-generates your captions. So I know a lot of you had that question in mind, and I wanted to make sure that everybody understands and knows that it's always available. It's awesome for Microsoft and Microsoft Stream to have that available to us. The next bullet here is a live event and you can actually do that through Stream, which we will probably discuss on a separate session. It's out of the scope here. It'll probably take an entire hour to probably just talk about that piece. So we'll. I wanted to bring that out there, that Stream does have that functionality. It does require additional work and tools to get that done, which hopefully we'll be able to cover in our future session. Next slide. All right, so let's get some of the terminologies out of the way. And between Microsoft Teams and Stream, there are some terminologies that overlap, and some that are different but mean the same. So I wanted to make sure that all of you kind of understood that before we get into our demo. So in Teams, MS Teams, the Microsoft Teams, like when you go into Microsoft Teams, when you have those teams that you're part of, are the same as groups in Microsoft Stream. And we'll mention that enough time that you will understand what that means as we get to our demo. But just remember that in Microsoft Teams, that the teams that you're part of are the same as groups in Microsoft Stream. Also, we'll refer to a terminology called channels, which you have heard of in Microsoft Teams. So when you create your Microsoft team, you're also creating multiple channels to collaborate and to communicate. But in Microsoft Stream, channels are a bit different. They're more like the channels in YouTube, where you can organize. It's more of a container of your video. So let's say if you just want to have a channel that focuses on training videos, so you can actually say, hey, UTD Team Tips channel, and we can put all the Team Tips videos into that channel and keeps it organized. And it's easier for everyone else to find and know what that means. So, and the third bullet is the same. I can always repeat all of that, but I think you guys got it. Next slide. All right, so it's time for us to move to our Teams demo. In our demo, we're going to go over some of the topics that are here: how to upload videos, how to create channels, recording, of how do you record in Stream. I'll go over the overview of all that, and then Brian Sherwood, which you all know really, really well, he'll be going over in depth of how to create channels, how to upload videos, and what that really looks like. And then hopefully we'll have some time for some questions and answers. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here, so bear with me. Find the right video.
While Nirali's pulling his screen up, I did just want to let the audience know I have posted in the announcements a link to our YouTube channel. This video is being recorded, and you can find it and any of our past sessions on YouTube as well.
Awesome, thank you, Amanda. And I have multiple screens, so I'll be looking away in both sides there, so just bear with me. So all right, so I'll get started here from the left side of the screen here. And a lot of you probably seen this, and some of you may already know what that's called. It's called our waffle menu here. And I'll just point that out real quick, is when you click on it, it presents you with all the services and applications that Microsoft offers, right? So if you wanted to go back, if you are in the Stream video, the site, and if you wanted to go back, you can always choose that option to go back. Now here is our home page for Stream. Now to access it, there's multiple ways to access it. You can actually go to our office.com and go about that way and look for Stream and click on that application option. That's one way to get to it. Another way to get to it is just simply typing web.microsoftstream.com on your address, and it will, if you're not authenticated, it will ask you to authenticate and Duo and bring you into this Stream homepage. And I'll start here on the left side. This is our homepage. It'll bring you here, and then the first portion is more of a introduction to Stream and trending videos. So I'll just kind of scroll through 5 or 6 videos on the top here. Underneath there, you will see some options to for you to access training. So there is a way to dismiss that. So if you've done that, you may not see it if you're following us on this video right now on stream. But if you haven't dismissed it, you will see some options to go and visit some Microsoft created videos. And that's pretty awesome. You know, it tells you how to create channels, find content, upload videos, which is pretty neat. Also, below that, you'll see some trending videos and channels. They'll show up on your home video, which is kind of neat as well. And see what's trending, what kind of videos people are watching, what kind of channels people are following. So it's kind of neat. Going into the next side here, you'll see an option for Discover. Now, if you arrow down in that, you'll see 4 other options. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Video, and it'll bring you to the home page of Discovery. And what that does also still gives you the option on top. It gives you videos, channels, people, and groups, the same options you'll see when you arrow down. But we're going to focus on videos now. And underneath here, you see a few things. What you see is all the videos, they are being shared publicly within UTD. Now remember, Microsoft Stream is, even though when I refer to as public, is public only to our organization, nothing external of that. So everyone in our organization can view all these videos. These are public, or they're being shared with you. So if there's a video that says Amanda created and like to share that video with me, I would see that here. And along with that, any videos that were posted up as public, you will see that here. Now, we'll just take this first one here, for instance. You see the thumbnail of the video. You also see what the duration of that video is, how long that is. You also see the title. You see a short description, but you also see how many times this video has been viewed. This video has been viewed 142 times. Currently, there are no likes or comments for that video. When was that video published? It was published in August of 10th, right? Who was it published by? It gives you the name, and it also gives you the option to add to wish list, and we'll get to that in a minute. But you can add it to a wish list where maybe you wanted to grab some popcorn and some coffee and then go back to that video later, and you don't have to search for it. It'll be sitting there for you, and you can watch that video then. You also have the option of sharing that video, so you just simply click on share and share the video by just the link or email. Now keep in mind, there is an option to share. If this video is public, then yeah, you can share it, and anyone who you share it with can watch that video. But if this video is not public, but just shared with you, and you share that video with someone else that doesn't have access, they won't be able to see that video, just so you understand that part. And then again, add to wish list is very simple. You just click on it and it's added to your wish list. And also you can search for videos. So let's say if I wanted to find videos on, hey, look who popped up, share what. Let's see what videos he has. We'll just click enter, and we'll see all the videos that either Brian Sherwood has been mentioned or shared with me. So I can bring that up and view it. Now, if I wanted to sort, let's go back to the videos. Just go ahead and clear this. And if you, let's say, wanted to do sorting, let's say there's a lot of videos and you want to sort, you can sort by trending, publish date, views, likes, name, however you want to share. There's plenty of options and ways you can sort that video. Sorry. All right. Channels. Let's get the channels. We did briefly brought that up earlier. Now, channels are something you can create, and Brian will later in this video will show you how to do that. But channels you can create, and within those channels, these channels here are being shared publicly or in stream. And I can go ahead and follow. I can see how many and what type of videos are there. So let's check out UTD Info Tech. What is all that about? These are all the videos that Amanda and Lacey posted up. And these videos you can go in, and if you like the content and you like the videos that they're sharing, you can actually do the same thing, share them with anyone, like them if you do, but you can actually follow the channel. And guess what? Now you can follow the channel. Any videos they're uploading, they'll come in your favorite. You can go into your discovery. We'll go that in a minute. And you can easily pick those videos and pick that channel and watch their videos. So it's pretty cool. And it tells you how many videos are posted up, how many members are on there. So just like You know, just when I hit the follow button, the number goes up to 16. Now they have 16 people following them. I'm contributing. All right. So channels, and then next here section is people. You can search for anyone you like. We'll go ahead and search for Amanda. Here you go. And we'll click on Amanda here. And you'll see all the videos that she has posted up, channels that she has shared or created, and the videos she has publicly posted or sharing with me. So I can see exclusively her videos, or she's part of those videos. So I can see that really easily. It's a great option to do that too. And then, of course, groups. Now groups are, remember I mentioned groups are the same as teams in Microsoft Teams. So these are groups that you see here. Amanda, you have a question. I see it.
Sorry, Nirali. We just had somebody give some feedback that it's a little hard to see the screen that you're sharing. Is there any way you could zoom in just a little bit so we could get a clarification on some of the things you're pointing out?
Let me see. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you. Much better.
Okay. So these are groups. There are public groups that you can actually see, or the groups that you're part of that you will see it here. Well, actually, these are discovery sections. So these are groups that are public that everyone can actually see. Now we'll get to the part where it's exclusive to you, which is my content. So let's go and arrow down here. You see the similar options there, but you also see a few more. So let's go ahead and click on videos. Now these are videos. There are, since I'm using a guest account, this is not my personal account. This is a guest account that I'm using. And this account, I can see there's a video here that is being shared, right? So in this area, in this video section, these are all the videos that you uploaded. These are the meetings that not you organized only, but you actually opt on recording those meetings will be in this section. So if you want to find the video recording of your meetings that you initiated, will be here. You'll find them here. Also, all the videos that you've uploaded will be here. Same thing with groups, right? So these are groups. There are public groups that you are owner of. You'll see that here in this section. Same thing with channels. Channels that you've created will be in this section here, not the one that you're following or any other ones, but the ones that you've created. It's easy to find, will be here. Same things with meetings. Now these are meetings, like I mentioned. In videos, you'll see videos and meetings, but in meetings, you'll see exclusively all the meetings that you have recorded will be in this section right here. And then watch list. Earlier when I mentioned on any videos that you have the option to click on watch later. So watch list would be where you come back and watch later, which you saw me click on watch list. And then here it is. And then I can come back and watch later. Now, these are all the channels that I am following in this guest account. And you saw me earlier that I followed, click on follow UTD Infotech. Here it is. And that concludes this area. And then one more thing I did want to mention is the recycle bin. Anything that you decide to delete that you think that you don't need will sit in stream for 30 days. And then we'll get purged eventually after that 30. Well, not eventually. After 30 days, it will get purged. So you have 30 days to change your mind that if you want this, this deleted content back or not. And this is a way to recover it. And then here on this side here, you'll see upload, and you'll see some other invite others, some of the areas here. Brian will go through some of those things as he's going in depth of channels and uploads. So this does conclude my portion of demo. So if you have any questions, I will take them now. Amanda.
Yes, Nirali, we do have a couple of questions. So Sarah was asking if you could please clarify again, just one more time to reiterate, the difference between groups and channels, and which would be better to do if you have a departmental account in Stream. What would be the best way of providing those videos to different areas?
So, well, channels are, channels that you create in Stream. They stay in Stream, and they don't really synchronize into Microsoft Teams at all. So they're exclusively for Stream and organization for that. So if you have if you want to create a particular kind of videos, you can absolutely share them and share the channel with your teams in team. You can do that, but I would advise just to do that in stream and create that content within there and share it. Okay. All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that clarification.
Right. Any other questions? Because then I want to have enough time for Brian to kick in.
Yes, absolutely. We'll go ahead and have Brian continue, since we do. I know a lot of the questions that are coming in right now are questions that Brian's going to be covering in some of his presentation. So just one moment and welcome, Brian.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Nirali and Amanda. I'm excited to be back on Teams Tips to share a little bit about Stream. So I'm really going to focus. Nirali kind of did a nice introduction there of browsing for content in Stream, but I'm really going to focus on creating content in Stream. And I think this is probably something that a lot of you are needing more guidance on, needing more help with as we get ready to start this interesting fall semester. So I'm going to start with really just the basics of how do I get a video into Microsoft Stream. So there's a couple ways that you can do that. Nirali mentioned recording a Microsoft Teams meeting, and that will move the recording into Stream automatically. But you also can upload content by itself. So this might be something that you recorded with some kind of a screen recording software, or maybe you had a meeting in Blackboard Collaborate or WebEx and you want to upload the video into Stream, possibly to take advantage of those closed captioning features that Nirali mentioned. So to do that, you're going to go to this Create menu, and you'll see when you get to the Create menu, you have a couple of different options. And again, I'm going to start with just the Upload Video option. When I go there, it's going to make sure that I understand that if I'm uploading things, I need to make sure that I have the rights to upload those things. We're all familiar with that. And then I can go ahead and just pick a video. I've got one here that if Spectrum is nice to me, it's going to upload here quickly while I'm sitting. You'll see when I do that, I get some options. I can go ahead and start setting some of my video settings even before the video is done uploading. Now, this is a pretty small video. This was only a couple minutes long, and it was under, I think it was like 10 megabytes, so it's pretty small. But I can go ahead and I can set the title of this. This was a training on Teams. I can set a description if I want to do that. Again, that description will be searchable inside of Stream. So if I want folks to be able to discover it, I can set certain keywords in there that maybe I want them to find, or I can just give a description even for myself to remember what this is about. Setting a video language, this is very important. This is what enables automatic closed captioning. It's impossible for Stream to generate closed captions if it doesn't know what language you're speaking in the video. So you'll see you have the option to set that. Then I have some more options here in terms of permissions and options. I'm actually going to wait on that because I'm going to do a deep dive into what permissions look like in Stream here in just a few minutes. So I'm going to skip these two for now. And because I own this video, I know I'm going to be able to go back and edit those later. So I'm going to click Publish. By default, when you upload content inside of Microsoft Stream, yeah, Amanda.
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
We're just getting some feedback that it's really small to see again. Would you mind zooming in your screen? Thank you so much.
Gotcha.
That's much better.
I always forget that the live event's sometimes hard to see. Thank you. So everything by default when you upload into Stream is going to only be visible to you. And you can see it's actually finished processing already. So I know that this video, because I didn't take any action to share it more widely, it's only going to be visible to me by default. So that's as easy as it is to upload a video into Microsoft Stream. Now, before we get into the details of how to share and how to change those permissions, I'm going to just quickly go through the rest of the Create menu here, and then we'll really dive into what it looks like to edit the permissions of a Stream video. Nirali mentioned live events earlier. So live events in Stream are very different than they are in Microsoft Teams. They require what's called an external encoder. That's something that's out of the scope of today's session, but maybe a topic in a future session of Teams Tips. But then let's go ahead and talk about channels, because Nirali talked about channels a little bit and how to browse for channels, and saw a couple that had already been created. Microsoft likes to make this nice and confusing because we do have channels. If you're familiar with Teams, you know that we've got channels in Teams. We also have channels in Stream that are totally different, totally separated from our channels in Microsoft Teams. So if I go to create a channel, I'm going to be given some options. Again, I got to give my channel a name. I can give it a description, but then I also am going to be asked how I want to be able to share this channel. And so I have two choices. Channels cannot be private, so they either have to be linked to a group, which, if you'll remember, a group in Microsoft Stream is the equivalent of a group or a team, excuse me, in Microsoft Teams. Or I can say I want it company-wide. What this means is that videos that are added to this channel will inherit this permission. So if you link it to a group and then later you add a video to your channel, all of those videos are going to be granted access to that group. If you say company-wide, you're only going to be able to link videos into this channel that are available to everyone inside of UT Dallas. So again, that's going to have an impact potentially on, who's be able to see the videos you add to this particular channel. I'm going to go ahead and link this to my Sherwood Team Sandbox group that I have. And I'm going to go ahead and hit create. And then you'll see now I have a channel created. This channel would only be visible to folks that are members of the Sherwood Team Sandbox group, also known as the Microsoft team. So now I'm going to go take a look at one other part of the create menu. But before I do that, I'm going to pause and see if there are some questions.
Hi, Brian. There are just a few questions. There were a few people that weren't able to see your screen when it was just showing the upload video. So I see you're hovering over that now. So there was questions on clicking that and seeing how to upload. So that's helpful for them to see that. And let's see. So we did have a question too. I'm not sure if you're able to answer this, if this is e-learning, but Magdalena was asking for a course that is in Teams. Do they need to have a group in Streams, and within the group, can they have different channels, or is that automatically set up for them?
Yeah, so good question. When the teams were created in Microsoft Teams, they were also created in all of Office 365. Which included Microsoft Stream. So they are available in Microsoft Stream. Keep in mind that a lot of groups were created at once. So if you don't see them, there may be some troubleshooting you have to do to get them to show up, but they will be available inside of Microsoft Stream as well. And I'll show you guys how to pick permissions specifically for those course-based teams as well in just a moment.
Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. So the last thing I want to talk about in the create menu before I really dive into the permissions on a video is the record screen option. And this is a really great tool that's at your disposal if you want to create a quick screen recording. Maybe you are troubleshooting with the help desk and you want to send them a video to show what you're talking about so it's easier to explain. Maybe you're creating a quick tutorial for your students or for your colleagues. You're able to go in here and you don't even need any special software. You can do this in any modern web browser, and you can narrate, you can use a recording, and it will actually record your screen up to 15 minutes. So again, this is not necessarily for really long lectures. You might want to use Teams for that. But if you have something quick that you want to make inside of Stream, you can use this tool to do just that. Now I'm going to dive into one of these videos that I just created, and I'm going to go back to my content and pull one up here so that I can show you guys some of the features here when I'm in the video. So now I've got my video uploaded. You'll notice that I just uploaded this video, and I want to call attention to this transcripts because this is something we are getting tons of questions about at the help desk. Transcripts do take some time to process, and keep in mind that there are lots of universities and schools that are using Microsoft 365, including Stream, to enable online learning. And so you might need to be a little more patient with transcripts than we normally are. Transcripts generally only take 1 to 2 times the length of the video to process. So this is about a 5-minute video. It should take no longer generally than 10 minutes to process. Give that a little extra time in these next couple weeks as everybody's trying to transition to online learning and the Stream service is trying to keep up with all that transcribing that's going on. But once that happens, I will be able to see those transcripts there automatically generated. Now, what I can do when I'm inside of the video that I own is I can click on these 3 dots underneath the video. And this applies to both videos that you manually upload to Stream and videos that you transition to Stream or record in Teams and transition into Stream automatically. You can click these 3 dots and you have several options. You have the option to trim the video. So maybe if you only want, you maybe recorded for too long or you started the recording too early, you can go right here in Stream and you can trim your video. You can download that video, and only the person who owns the video will be able to do that download function. You can replace it. So let's say you download it and you make edits in a third-party application. You're able to re-upload the video and that link stays the same. You're just replacing that video that's there. And of course, as Nirali mentioned, you can delete videos in Stream and then they'll stay in your recycle bin for a 30-day period. But the real power here is in our update video details. And so I'm going to click on that, and that's going to take me to my main video permissions and settings that I have for this particular video. So you'll notice some features that look familiar. We saw these when we uploaded our video for the first time. We've got a name of our video. We can adjust that. If you record it in Teams, you might want to come back here and change the name. Maybe you didn't intend for that name to be there forever. You can come in and adjust it here. You can put a description here, including any hashtags that you might want to be able to find it. And then we've got that video language. And I'm going to mention that video language again, just because sometimes we see videos that the transcripts and the captions don't automatically show up. And generally, part of the problem is that a video language is not set. So one of the troubleshooting steps that you can take if you're having trouble with Stream captions is come into your video details and make sure your language is set to English or whatever language that you're teaching in, of course. Then you'll have the option to set a thumbnail. You can either upload a thumbnail or you can pick from a couple of predefined points in the video that they've generated there for you. And then I'm going to skip permissions. I'm going to go over on the right here to options. I can turn comments on or off for my video, so that's totally up to you. Noise suppression, this allows you to suppress, speech from other sounds, music, background noise, that sort of thing. This is only going to be available if you upload a video into Stream, not if you just use a Teams meeting recording, because noise suppression is already on when you're doing a Teams recording. Then you'll see your captions area. And again, I'm going to talk pretty in depth about the captions because it's a big feature that UTD is leveraging for ADA compliance. So captions, automatically generating a caption file, like I mentioned, is going to take potentially 1 to 2 times the length of the video. Once that happens, then you will be able to edit those captions. So I'll show that in just a second. If this is unchecked for any reason, if this is unchecked, it's not automatically generating captions anymore. Now, if you make edits to your captions, what's going to happen is this box is going to become unchecked because at this point in time, you've made edits. So those are no longer the auto-generated captions. Those are your edited versions of those auto-generated captions. If this is unchecked and you don't see anything else in this area, that means somehow captions got turned off and they need to be rechecked to regenerate those captions. One other thing I'll mention there is that if you're seeing captions get stuck, we've also seen this happen, especially with high usage of Stream. Captions that are stuck, we have a great knowledge article that goes through different ways that you can make that issue disappear. One of those ways is to uncheck this box, save your video, come back and recheck it. This is going to cause Microsoft to retranscribe your video for you, kind of restart it. Now I'm going to go to the middle here now and talk about permissions. This is a huge thing if you're uploading content into Stream or if you're using Teams meetings and need to make sure that folks are able to access the videos that you've uploaded. In this share section, you have a couple different options. Of course, the one that has the most access is going to be allow everyone in your company to view this video. This means anyone with a UTD net ID is going to be able to log in here and see your video. You need to be careful with this. Keep in mind that's all students. That's potentially some incoming students. Once they get their email access, they'll be able to get in here. And of course, all of our faculty and staff as well. So usually you want to be a little bit more prescriptive than that on who can see your video. And so I'm going to go down here and I can choose a couple of different options. The first one is people. So if I wanted to share this video with an individual, I would just type the name, I would hit enter, and then I'd add that person to the video on my permission list here. But if you're doing this with your courses, you want to make sure you're using the My Groups section. And when you go to My Groups, you can search. It's only going to show you groups that you're a member of, so don't worry, you're not going to have to browse through a huge list of courses. It's just going to show the ones that you're a member of. And then when I do that, you'll see that I've created a couple channels here. If you don't have a channel, that's okay. There's no need to create one. You can just grant access to that particular group. You'll see it shows up here with a little lock next to it, and it's got this display box checked. So you know that people that are members of this group are going to be able to see that video. And that's what you'll need to do if you have a merge section. You'll need to add each one of the merge section teams in this My Groups section to make sure that they're able to access that video. Now I'm going to pause there again, and I'm going to turn back to Amanda, and I'm sure we have some questions to answer.
Yes, we do. And actually just a few clarifications to make too. So we do have over 100 people on this session right now. So we are busily trying to answer all of your questions. I know we're scheduled to end in just a few minutes. If we don't get to everybody, we will run a report and follow up with you separately. But a few clarifications. If you are recording your video in Teams, does it automatically upload into Stream for you? And we just wanted to clarify that it does, because there was a few that were confused about that. And there was something else that just escaped my mind. So forgive me. Let me read through the questions and see what else there is, because I know as I'm speaking, there's more that are popping up. Just 1 second. Let me see what we've got here.
Let me add something to that, Amanda. So when you do that recording in Teams, the permissions will also come over, meaning that if you schedule that meeting again inside of a channel, it's automatically going to share it with the members of that team. It's going to show up here automatically, and you can go verify that, make sure it's good to go. If you have a meeting that is not linked to a channel, and if you're following the e-learning instructions for merged courses, you're creating a meeting that is not linked to a channel, you will need to come in here after the meeting is over and make sure that those different groups or teams are added in there so that everyone is able to successfully access that video.
Thank you. And that just reminded me, the other question was, if they are uploading multiple videos, is there a way, if they're to batch upload or to specify those permissions when they're uploading those as a group, as opposed to doing them individually?
So there's not a great way to do that in bulk, but what I would suggest in that case is that if you go into My Content, you will see an option here about adding it to a group. And you can just quickly go through here and pick your groups and do that if you've already uploaded them. But unfortunately, there's not a easy check all these and share them with this group.
Thank you. So I think that clarified all of our general questions. I'm just giving it once more look over. And I know that we are about out of time for this particular session of Teams Tips. But I do want to thank everybody for attending, and I know that there's still a number of questions and clarifications that people would like to have just to verify the information. So we are going to, just one moment, sorry, trying to share something here. Nope, not what I wanted to share. Sorry. Sorry about that. So we're going to go through the questions and give us just some time. We'll gather those responses and try to respond to you all appropriately. We do host these sessions